Good evening, everyone. I see the attendees joining the room. We will give it just a few seconds to make sure that everyone has access to the forum that we are hosting this evening. Wonderful to see such a great turnout. Welcome, everyone. Okay, I will get started for this evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Marilyn Alhus. I am the Executive Director of the Airdrie Regional Chamber of Commerce, and I am pleased to host the 2025 Airdrie Municipal Candidates Forum. So just a reminder that tonight's forum is being recorded. The link will be available on our Chamber website event page within the next 48 hours. We invite you to check back in and share that link with anyone who wasn't able to join us this evening. This is a great opportunity for our business leaders and residents to be better informed on the issues facing our community and how our candidates will address them if elected. Before we begin, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge that we are situated on Treaty 7 territory, traditional lands of the Stoney Nakoda people of Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Weasley bands, the Tsuut'ina, the Blackfoot people of Siksika, Piikani, Kainai Band. We also respectfully acknowledge that we are on the homelands of the Métis Nation within Region 3. And now, if you are able to, I would like to invite everyone to please stand as we play the national anthem, O Canada. Give us just a moment. Thank you, everyone. And thank you so much to all of our council and mayoral candidates for being here this evening. As we were just entering into the room and settling into this forum, it is very telling of what kind of community we live in. We have people that are here to support each other and, of course, most importantly, support their community. So thank you all for taking part in this evening's important forum. We will be hearing from the candidates as they share their vision for our community. And as the voice of local business and over 620 members in our region, our Chamber's goal for this forum is to encourage public dialogue and awareness of the priorities of our great city of Airdrie. I would now like to welcome and introduce our moderator, Jason Leslie, Chief Operating Officer with the Alberta Chamber of Commerce. Jason is an experienced moderator of forums like this and has led the ACC's Vote Prosperity campaigns, working with community chambers to amplify the voice of Alberta business and advance economic priorities at all levels of government. Please join me in welcoming Jason Leslie.
Thank you, Marilyn, and thank you all who are joining us and to all of this evening's candidates. I'm honored to be here moderating tonight's event on behalf of the Airdrie Regional Chamber of Commerce. Chambers are nonpartisan, and one of our core roles is to advocate for the business community with solution-based approaches to growing economic opportunity locally, provincially, and federally. While everyone is welcome to attend and learn from this forum, our focus tonight is on questions and topics that reflect the interests and concerns of local businesses in your region. Before we begin tonight's forum, I'd like to take a moment to review the rules all candidates have agreed to. Each candidate will have 60 seconds for an opening statement. Questions used in tonight's forum were pre-submitted during registration, as well as provided by the Chamber's Advocacy Committee and drawn from the vote prosperity priorities for the 2025 municipal election. Candidates will have 60 seconds to respond to questions that are addressed to them. And I would encourage all the candidates, please keep answers respectful. No disrespectful comments may result in removal from the forum. This is really about focusing on vision and opportunities. Due to time constraints, we will not be taking questions in the chat this evening. If your question isn't addressed through deliberations this evening, we encourage you to contact the candidates directly after the event. We will begin this evening with the mayoral candidates, followed by the councillor candidates. This forum is designed to provide equal opportunity for each candidate to share their platform and vision for our communities. Please note that none of the candidates have advanced knowledge of these questions. And finally, each candidate will have 60 seconds to make a closing statement at the end of the program. Invitations to participate in this forum were issued to all registered candidates in the Airdrie election. And accepting the invitation, we have 5 of 6 mayoral candidates and 18 out of 23 council candidates. And I'd just like to say that's a fantastic showing for your community, and kudos to all of you putting your name forward. Now, without any further ado, I would like to list the candidates for the Airdrie municipal election. And please wave when I call your name in alphabetical order by last name. And if I happen in any way to mispronounce anybody, someone will correct me, and just note that it'll be noted. For our mayoral candidates, we have Dave Douglas, Dylan Harty, Tina Petrow, Vern Raincock, and Heather Spearman. Council candidates, Thomason or Tommy Adinapeckanum, Christopher Backey, Daryl Bellick, Ron Chapman, Craig Danzero, Chris Glass, Al Jones, Candace Colson, Kathleen McQuaig, Rekha Mahay, Anthony Morvillo, Simisola Simi or Simi, Abasan, Jay Ramundo, Malik Shah, Kristen Shima, Chad Stewart, Karen Wittenbury, and Tammy Yance. Now that the
Jason,
candidates
I hate to interject. We do have
please
one
do.
council candidate who is having technical difficulties, Mr. Al Jones, and we will keep you appraised on whether or not we are able to have him join. Okay, thank you, Jason.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Marilyn. Now that the candidates have all been introduced, let's begin with the mayoral candidates. Each candidate will have 60 seconds to deliver an opening statement. Please unmute yourself when you're asked to speak. Microphones will automatically be turned off at the 60-second mark. And I'm just going to say, having done one of these forums in recent time, the Airdrie team is very tight on their timing. Just be aware. You will see a timer counting down throughout the evening as each candidate speaks. We will begin with Dave Douglas, followed by Dylan Harty, then Tina Petrow, then Vern Raincock, and then Heather Spearman. So, Dave, over to you.
Perfect. Good evening. First, I want to thank the Chamber for hosting this event tonight. My name is Dave Douglas, and I'm running for Mayor of Airdrie. I'm a blue-collar small business owner with an amazing wife, 3 beautiful children, 2 cats, and a dog at home. I am the lowest class citizen. I'm not a career politician, so I will not try to use the buzzwords, and I will never make promises I can't keep. Do promise to be an open, approachable throughout the election and if elected mayor. That means you can reach me through my cell, email, or text anytime. If I don't answer, I'll get back to you in 24 to 48 hours. Any question, concern, hope, or issue, I am here to listen. I work for you, and I will be your voice. I promise not to increase property taxes for our residents and to do everything we can as a council to lower the cost of living for all the residents of the city. The past two councils have raised our taxes 8 years straight, some years as much as 8.4. I want to make City Hall and Council more accessible to the public by having town halls every few months and having some council meetings start in the evenings 9 to 5. Workers have a chance to attend council and ask the important questions. I want to slow our growth and find a balance so our overloaded schools can get some relief while we wait for the province to complete new schools and expand our current ones. The existing city council statement.
Thanks, Dave. Timing is a bit tight. We'll have an opportunity on the back end there. Over to you, Dylan.
Thank you so much, Jason. Yeah, for me, I put my name into the mayor kind of hat, as it will, because I see Airdrie as a young city. There's a lot of young families here, and I believe that it needs a young leader. My experience comes from basically being in senior leadership in a 500K plus employee company. I have over 15 years of experience in computer science, so I'm very solutions focused. I just look at issues and see them as a puzzle to solve. When it comes to numbers, I'm great. When I need to hunker down and make sure what we need to cut for citizens, I can get right into the meat of it. My biggest thing is I want to make sure that our local business is supported with good incentives and also looking at the downtown revitalization project. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. Tina.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Tina Petrow. I'm a business owner, a mother of two, and I'm proud to have called Airdrie home since 2012. My journey into public service began with a deep love for this community and a desire to make it even better for the families who live here. From volunteering locally to serving on City Council and the Alberta Municipality's Board of Directors, I've always believed that leadership starts with listening, learning, and lifting others up. My personal and professional experiences have shaped me into a collaborative leader who values transparency, compassion, and action. I've worked hard to build strong relationships across all levels of government, advocate for Airdrie's needs, and bring back ideas that work. Whether it's improving our economic resilience, expanding health and mental health services, or creating a more inclusive and connected city, I'm committed to working with you and for you to build a community we're all proud of. I invite you all to check out tinapetrow.com to learn more about my experience and my action plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tina. Vern.
Excuse me, I'm Vern Raincock, and I'm very happy to be amongst everybody, both the council people as well as the other mayor candidates. My background is primarily as an entrepreneur in small business. I've lived in Airdrie with my family for 2 decades, and my kids grew up here. Both have looked at things and said, "Dad, what can we do so there's more things for young people?" I've been an advocate for passenger rail for 5 years. I've been working with a group, Integrated Travel as a research director, and I'm looking forward to listening today to the questions, the answers, so that we can all make Airdrie a better place.
Thank you, Vern. Heather.
Thank you so much. Good evening, and thank you to the Chamber for hosting this important conversation, and to everyone who logged in on their Monday night when I know you could be doing a lot of other things. It's important to care, so thank you for being here. I want to start by addressing something directly. There's been a lot of noise out there, including labels being thrown around to scare people about how they should or shouldn't vote. That's politics at its most cynical, but labels don't build infrastructure, they don't grow economies, and they don't solve complex municipal challenges. What does is real experience and proven capability. And I've spent my career working directly with businesses, from family-run local shops to Fortune 500 organizations, helping them make high-stakes decisions like mergers, acquisitions, and strategic growth based on data, risk, and market realities. I understand procurement, RFPs, contracts, and economic development because I've lived that work for over a decade. Pair that with 4 years of results-driven municipal leadership, and you have a candidate who doesn't just talk about what's possible. I know how to get it done. Airdrie's heading into one of the most complex chapters in its history, and this is not the time for politics as usual. It's the time
Thank you, Heather. We will now be moving on to the question and answer portion of tonight's event. Please note that each candidate will have 60 seconds to answer each chamber question. The order of responses has been randomly generated for each question. The first question will be delivered by Marilyn Alhus, Executive Director of the Airdrie Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you,
Marilyn, over to
Jason.
you.
Only 28% of Alberta businesses feel their local government provides clear and consistent information on regulations and decision making. How would you improve transparency so businesses can better understand municipal processes?
Thank you, Marilyn. Dylan, let's start with you.
Thank you very much, Jason. For me, I would say that it comes down to transparency and making sure that the tools are available to look for, but also advertised. I think that's a big downfall in really any government is a lot of stuff can be published online or in other areas through different links and stuff, but it's not easily to find or easy to find. So my biggest thing, if I were to become mayor, is I want to make sure that stuff is easy to find, advertised, and big decisions in the community would be transparent to everyone, maybe through advertising or even using newer social media methods to make sure that they understand the core changes happening to their city, and also links to learn more. That's kind of where I would start, especially in this new age of information. There's links and PDFs everywhere, but no one reads PDFs, no one goes through docs anymore, so it's good to look at short form content. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. Tina.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. I think the best thing that we can do is listen to the businesses. We need to know what we are missing. How can we serve the businesses better? So let us know what you're missing from us so that we can improve on those practices. Part of my platform running for mayor is a pledge to the community. So both for businesses and residents to actually have quarterly reports to the community to allow you to know what meetings we're having, what's going on in City Hall, how much movement we're making on advocacy, as well as information about city departments. And I think that's important because I do hear a lot that people don't always understand what's happening within the city. So having that information out to the community can help to educate residents and businesses and allow you to understand what you're missing from us to be able to give us that feedback.
Thank you, Tina. Dave.
So this is actually one of the reasons why I originally decided to run for mayor, dealing with this myself with City Hall. A lot of small businesses here in Airdrie feel they haven't been listened to. They can't find the information. They can't go anywhere against City Hall. It's their way or the highway. And that's one of the reasons that I will be approachable and make it easier for small businesses to talk to City Hall, to find out the regulations, to find out why, and just get an answer back and to be listened. I think that's the biggest thing that small businesses are finding in this day and age with the City of Airdrie is just not being listened to and not being able to voice their concerns.
Thank you, Dave. Heather?
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. As I've gotten to understand the role a bit better in the unique inner workings of the City of Airdrie, I've gotten more and more vocal and very transparent and very communicative, whether it's online or in other forms. So I'm not one to talk about how we're going to do it. I'm one who's actually doing it now. And that's important to me because I think that we've all got an opportunity to communicate. We've all got an opportunity to get out there and have conversations with business owners or residents. That's something I've been doing since day one of this term that I've been involved in. But I also think we need to leverage fantastic organizations like the Chamber here in Airdrie. It's critical that we use their strengths and try and, take the things that they can do and allow that to empower a lot more of the businesses, and then let our economic development partners get very strong in what they do as well, and then bring that all forward together.
Thank you, Heather. Vern?
Vern, your microphone is muted. Can you try again? We'll
There we
start the
go.
timer.
Yeah, so I think the most important part is to work with the local businesses and do some benchmarking. And I can say everybody who's on this call today has some very good ideas. The most important thing for us is to listen, as Tina brought up, and we've got to work together as a council to identify areas that we can actually improve communication. Getting back to the idea of advertising, I totally agree. We at this point, there's so much chatter when you're trying to find something. Often it takes a long time. But from what I can hear, everybody's on the right tangent.
Thank you, Vern. I'd like to now call on Rebecca McElhaney, member of the Airdrie Regional Chamber Board of Directors and Advocacy Committee, to ask our second question.
Thanks, Jason. Businesses have said attracting investment and retaining enterprises must be a municipal priority. How would you involve business leaders and investors in shaping Airdrie's economic development plans?
Vern, we're going back to you.
The biggest problem I think we all see in Airdrie right now is there's a focus primarily on residential construction, not enough focus right now on attracting investors that may be able to look into something similar. I'm from Penticton, BC, an event center that could possibly bring it up towards $100 million additional revenue. I've talked to several candidates. I think we all in agreement. The problem with Airdrie is a revenue issue. Not necessarily an expense issue. We increase the revenues within the city, smaller business is going to do better. Of course, the tax base will improve. So in the big picture, I think attracting different entities to invest in Airdrie, including commercial and industrial participants, is very important this time.
Thanks, Vern. Dave?
So I do agree with some of what Vern said there. We do need to slow down residential and focus more on commercial by talking with big businesses in, say, Calgary, or businesses that do work here in Airdrie, seeing if they would like to open up shop up here and to use what's nearby. We've got YYC Airport not far away. We can entice businesses from there to do business up here, to move into our area. Whatever we can do to think outside the box and to bring more commercial space here in Airdrie, to bring more jobs and just to bring much more revenue into the city.
Thanks, Dave. Heather?
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. So a few things here. Yes, absolutely. We are in an international corridor because we are so close to the Calgary airport. We are on a highway 2, which is very close cross province, but we do need to think globally. We do need to think nationally. We don't need to limit our expectations and our interests to only within the province, because sometimes that can create barriers self-imposed. I think it's really important that we're listening to the business community, that we're paying attention to what our strengths are. Agri-foods is a huge area for us, for sure. So let's learn from the past. Let's learn from our neighbors. Let's use best practices, and let's leverage the Chamber of Commerce, leverage ECDEV, and let's get them out there to start attracting business here. And of course, we need to make sure that the land is available and ready for these business investors so that they can have a win, we can have a win, and employees, employers, and everybody else can do really well too, particularly around young employment, because in Alberta, people under 30 are having a really hard time finding work. So let's make sure we're focusing on that as well. Thanks.
Thanks, Heather. Dylan?
Thank you, Jason. I would say one of the biggest things is we have to rely on our local businesses. We have to kind of look at the chamber, for example, and business leaders in the city here. My biggest thing is when it comes to development is right now Airdrie still seems like that suburb of Calgary. And I really want to change that image, and that requires business owners and also a huge focus on the downtown revitalization of, let's look at the landowners, let's look at anchor tenants, let's look at getting big players into Airdrie and not thinking that it's still just a suburb of Calgary anymore. We have to really bolster our local business economy in Airdrie and move away a little bit from residential, but also mixed use, because you can also get some living quarters in there with some businesses, and that brings tax revenue also for the city. Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan. Tina?
Thank you very much. Great question. I think when we look at business attraction, this is a shared partnership that we have to have throughout the community here. So between the city, the Chamber of Commerce, our economic development team, the new Invest Greater Calgary organization that's formed, including Airdrie here, and our businesses. So I think maybe there's an opportunity that we can help each other. Maybe the chamber, we can get the chamber a little bit more involved with some of our business retention programs here to be able to send our economic development team out to do a lot more of the attraction, to bring the industries that we want to have in Airdrie here. From the city side, we have to make land available. We have to be able to attract more industrial here, but we need service shovel-ready land for them to go and set up shop here. We also need to make it easier for people to set up business here. With all of this, we can start to attract new jobs to the community, and that helps keep people local, keep money staying in our own economy here to support the businesses that we have here instead of sending it outside of Airdrie. And it also helps people's mental health. It just helps their quality of life here. So let's get our teams working together to make sure that we are attracting the investment that we want in our community. Thanks.
Thanks, Tina. I'd now like to call on Carrie Ann Martin, member of the Airdrie Regional Chamber Advocacy Committee, to ask our third question.
Hi, thank you. How would you approach long-term planning for industrial and commercial land to ensure businesses have space to grow?
Tina, we're going back to you.
Yeah, thanks for the question. So just kind of piggybacking on the last response there, the city has set aside quarter sections on the east side of the city that have been designated for industrial land, and we have to push forward with that. We have to open up those lands. We have to get them ready to go. We've had lots of industries that have been interested in Airdrie, but we haven't had anywhere for them to set up shop. So that needs to be a priority for the city. And I think also, you know, as we can open up more commercial space within the community, we can also help to start offsetting lease rates and hopefully try and lower them for businesses, which seems to be a barrier for a lot of our small businesses here. So by opening up more stock, both in the industrial side as well as the commercial side, we can help, again, get the jobs in our community, help to support our tax base by getting that industrial, and help to lower those leasing costs by fixing that supply and demand issue that we have here in Airdrie for spaces. Thanks.
Thanks, Tina. Vern?
I'm pretty sure everybody's been out and about, and I'm sure everybody's seen there's a lot of empty bays that are currently in the commercial and light industrial area in Airdrie. That's an opportunity to move and attract a lot of people into the city. The question I think we have to ask is, why is Rocky View County so much more effective of attracting some of the larger players? All you have to do is go up towards Cross Iron Mills and along Métis Trail. And it appears that the county has also been very successful in attracting $148 million overpass. The question then is, what can we do to attract those funds, as well as what can we do to ensure, as I think Tina, everybody else understands, is to make sure the grounds are ready for expansion. So thank you.
Thanks, Vern. Dylan?
Thank you, Jason. I would say for me, I think Airdrie needs to start focusing on the industrial for sure, and also making sure that commercial and other space is available. I think coming back to lease rates and stuff, I'm a big advocate of letting the market kind of handle itself. So when we add new spaces available, such as industrial, commercial, and for smaller business, hopefully those lease rates would come down with the supply added. How I look at the situation in Airdrie is basically there's a lot of residential. We need to start focusing on more big players, industrial, and other means in Airdrie to get that kind of flowing. Just kind of like what Vern mentioned is, why can't we attract the big players in Airdrie? That has to change. Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan. Heather?
Yeah, thank you so much for this question as well. So there's a few different things going on. Number one, we need to actually start approving things. We need to look at our actual policies and how they're written at the city. They are constantly improving, and we are trying to get more business friendly, but there's a long way to go. And we can definitely be having more strategic conversations with our planning department and with the new council on how that needs to look. Another consideration for land that's actually ready for business is land that has access to water. So we are working on that with our wastewater line and other investments, but we'd be foolish not to be considering those aspects when we're trying to attract business here. So there's aspects there we definitely need to pay attention to. When it comes to the actual land approval though, I mean, Airdrie's at an 87 and 13% residential versus commercial and industrial. In Calgary, 22% is industrial only. So we have huge numbers to move, and we can certainly do it. We need an aggressive plan, and we need to leverage that global corridors with the Calgary region. And it's very important that we pay attention to what's available and be ready to pull the trigger when the industry comes to us. Thanks.
Thank you, Heather. Dave?
So with pushing through on building and constructing as much commercial land as already on the books, getting it ready to go, cutting red tape, making it easier for businesses to move and to set up shop here in Airdrie. Talking to and taking a look at seeing what the county, Rocky View County did do. I totally agree with Vern on that. They have done an amazing job over there. And then finally, just going to knock on doors, knock on businesses' doors, go and basically tell everybody about Airdrie and try to get businesses to come take a look and say, hey, you know what, this is the perfect place to set up shop. They've got everything ready for us. Let's go.
Thanks, Dave. We're going to turn it back to Marilyn to bring the fourth question of the evening.
Thank you, Jason. I expect a full 60 seconds for this answer because it's a loaded one. What do you see as the top municipal issues facing Airdrie today, and how would you address them?
Thanks, Marilyn. Heather, we're going to start with you.
Yeah, thanks very much. I mean, it's no secret that growth is huge. We talked about a survey that came back from Airdrie residents a few months ago in regards to the citizen satisfaction survey. And honestly, that's where I've been living since it came out. We have some major issues to address. With growth comes challenges like overcrowded classrooms, lack of healthcare, transit issues. Transit is huge to me. We've really got to move the needle on that one. But it's also making things affordable for people not only to buy homes, but to start businesses. So when it comes to Airdrie, yeah, it's a loaded question, Marilyn, and thank you for that. But we really need to listen to what the residents tell us, and they put it right in that survey, and they talk about growth being a huge one. If we can tackle growth, if we can recalibrate that balance, we're going to put ourselves in a really strong position so that we can be an independent community of Calgary in a lot of ways, but also be a successful community that employs its own people, makes its own successes, and makes its own benchmarks that others will want to follow. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather. Dave?
So yeah, definitely growth is an issue. We've got schools that are overloaded. We've got new areas being developed and houses being built, and developers are putting aside land for schools and no one there to build them. Province can't keep up and our schools can't keep up. The junior highs in Airdrie, 2 junior highs had 70 to 80 girls trying out for the volleyball team, and that's not fair to them. We need to slow down our growth on the residential side and let the schools catch up. The rec center is another one. We've got a rec center that's not opening till 2030, and right now we have a swimming pool that's closed. And we've got people going into Calgary, into our neighboring communities to go for swimming. And for a city of almost 100,000, we've only got 5 rinks. It's definitely something that needs to be looked at.
Thanks, Dave. Tina?
Excellent. Thank you so much for the question. I think there's a couple things. So obviously growth management is a big issue for us here, and everybody has mentioned that. We have to be able to take a step back and look at our plan, how our city is growing. And I don't think we've done that holistic review of the city since about 2014 when we annexed the land from Rocky View County. So as we move forward with reviewing our municipal development plan right now and a lot of our master plans, this is the critical time to be doing that exercise and taking a step back and looking at what our growth looks like, where density should go, where transit needs to go, where we need to be focusing certain things. I think also on the advocacy front, we have a lot of issues in our community that are out of our jurisdiction. So we need to have a very thoughtful advocacy plan to be able to go to the provincial government and our regional partners to work on things things like healthcare and education. And that's where strong partnerships with our provincial government comes into play. I've spent the last 8 years cultivating those relationships to be able to hit the ground running after this election to make sure that those items are top of list for our community here. And I'm going to put a plug in there for mental health. We have to do a lot more work on mental health because it supports our economy and our physical health in the community. Thanks.
Thanks, Tina. Vern?
Everybody I've spoken to over the last 10 years have been waiting for a hospital, like Tina mentioned. I personally believe that the mechanism to get either a hospital or the schools that we actually need is broken. Solution-wise, maybe we have to take a look at what counties as well as school districts can do in the United States. They can float local bonds where the local businesses and investors can actually invest in Airdrie, as an example. When we're taking a look at community centers, et cetera, I think we're all in agreement. More has to be done by the land developers to ensure that there's gymnasiums, et cetera, available to them. Transportation, I've been an advocate for frequent, affordable, and reliable transportation. Currently, if a person misses a bus and they're trying to go to Pierre Lougheed Hospital on the 900, it's more than a 2-hour trip because they have to wait upwards of an hour.
Thanks, Vern. Dylan?
Thanks, Jason. So let's define what is growth in our city and what are Airdronians actually thinking about? Is it the rising property taxes? Is it the lack of affordable housing? Is it the services that they are trying to get at the urgent care, the overcrowded schools? All this comes down to, for example, the rec center was brought up. So the Southwest Rec Center has kind of been in the works for a while now. And we had a working concept at Genesis. And I'm very much an advocate of relying on our business partners in Airdrie and surrounding area to look at sponsorships to get projects like these off the ground faster and not rely so much on the tax dollar. I feel like businesses love to contribute to their local economy. And I feel like we need to rely on those sponsorships. There's all sorts of stuff with transit as well. A lot of this can be handled with also private and public equity. Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan. I'd like to now call on Rebecca again of the Airdrie Regional Chamber Advocacy Committee to ask the fifth and last question for our mayoral candidates this evening. Rebecca?
Thanks, Jason. Compared to other mid-sized Alberta cities, Airdrie's property taxes are relatively low, which benefits residents and businesses, but limits funding for growth. How would you balance keeping taxes competitive with funding essential services and infrastructure?
Thanks, Rebecca. Dave, we're starting off with you.
So first off, as my one promise for the campaign is I'm not going for raising our property taxes whatsoever. But that's going to take a team of all 7 people working together to find out where we can cut, what we can do, and to make sure that the people of Airdrie get what they need, they want, but still we are able to help them in a more cost-effective way of living and not raising the property taxes every single year we have to. There's ways to find money, to generate money, and that's what our job is to find those and to make sure that we're working for the city and the people and doing what we're supposed to. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Over to you, Dylan.
Thank you. I would say when it comes to property taxes and stuff and being low, everything is always relative to the city that you're in. I feel like at the end of the day, people just want to make sure that they're getting their money's worth. So when they see their property taxes raising, they're like, why is it raising out of control? And why can I not go to urgent care and have a decent wait time? A lot of these things, unfortunately, like healthcare and schooling, are out of our jurisdiction as a municipality. However, a lot of the stuff that we can focus those tax dollars into is road infrastructure. such as looking at traffic control devices in school zones and playground zones so that people see that their tax dollars are at work, investing in local transit, and making sure that basically quality of life in Airdrie is reflective of the increasing property taxes. Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan. Tina?
Yes, thank you for the million-dollar questions on how to balance taxes and services. That's the hardest part of our job every single year. I think our administration does a really good job of reviewing service levels continuously at the City of Airdrie to make sure that we are delivering the services that people need at the responsible rate that we can afford to provide them. One major thing that we have to be doing is, again, going back to that strategic advocacy plan from our provincial and federal governments, we have to be able to access grant dollars for our infrastructure projects so that we are not continuously borrowing and having interest payments put back on our taxpayers. So those grants are very important on those projects. Going back to adjusting that tax ratio, we need to be opening those industrial lands and attracting more industry to our community. And then regional partnerships. We have a lot of weight. We can probably be doing things in a very different way. We just have to have those connections and those relationships with our regional partnerships to see, can we be doing this better? And is there something that we can be doing together to make this more cost effective for all of our residents? So there's lots of things that we can do, but it's an ongoing process to make it happen. Thank you.
Thanks, Tina. Heather?
Yeah, thank you so much. You know, I think one of the things that kind of gets misstrewn when it comes to taxes, and a lot of people don't know because, hey, who pays attention to municipal politics after grade 6? Not everybody, not everybody. But when it comes to taxes, it's really important to understand, that formula is set by the province. It's not set by the municipalities. We pick a budget at each year that the administration actually comes forward with and says, hey, this is probably what you need to spend in order to keep services at the level that they're at and to build those capital projects as needed. And then we reverse engineer from there. So this council over the last 4 years that I've been involved has done a really good job of shaving things back. We've moved it back from double-digit tax increases to single-digit and below 5%. So, you know, a lot of people will say that our taxes are going up and up and up, but most of the time that's a reflection of the property values, not necessarily the rates that we've set as council. That being said, I mean, that's always something that needs to be looked at. My first year on council, I voted against the budget increases. So you never know what's going to come this year. We haven't seen those documents yet.
Thank you, Heather. Vern?
I'm a proponent for zero-based budgets as well as weekly continuous improvement so that we can do better for not only small businesses, but the people living here. And hopefully that allows us to maintain a lower tax base. A few of us were at the Over 50 Club. I was aware because my mom's goes the Over 50 Club that there was an increase in their monthly fee from $1 to $1,100. Without bingo, they would not be able to make ends meet. Currently, there are 400 to 500 members with space for 100. So I think looking at a zero-based budget, especially for charities as well as small businesses, will probably identify some opportunities, not only to allocate funds, but also to listen to the needs of those who are volunteering within our community.
Thanks, Vern. So that concludes the question and answer portion. And we're now going to move on to closing statements. And again, this is going to be 60 seconds for these responses. And the order of this was in reverse alphabetical order. So we are going to start off with Heather, please.
Well, thank you very much. And I want to say thank you for everyone who tuned in this evening and anyone who's watching the recording. And of course, thank you to the Chamber for putting this on. I have lived in Airdrie for 18 years and I've been born and raised in Alberta, and I understand what it is that Albertans are going through right now. And I understand that there are a lot of things going on in the geopolitical landscape. I'm a mom who knows what it's like to sit in traffic, wait for programs, and watch for classrooms to overflow. I love those challenges too, and I'm determined to help advocate to solve them. My career has been about helping businesses make smart strategic decisions based on data and results, and that's the same mindset that I bring to City Hall. Steady under pressure, not emotional, focused on solutions, and always ready to move when the moment is right. Governments and ministries change constantly, relationships shift, priorities shift, and opportunities come and go quickly, and we can't afford to waste time on vanity projects or getting distracted by politics. We need to make hay while the sun shines, and I'm the kind of leadership that understands that urgency and knows how to turn opportunity into results, and I'm ready to work for Airdrie. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Vern?
I think in a nutshell, we have to be doers. We also, because of the cost of living going up, think outside the box. One area is to leverage university students as well as graduate students to take a look at what Airdrie needs and provide some suggestions to council so that we understand where the benchmark should be based on similar communities within Alberta and other regions. I think the most important thing, whether or not we're reaching out to the electorate or the local communities or researchers, it's very important to listen and to develop a strategy for growth based on the knowledge that's being brought to us to the table. Good example is passenger rail. I've been working on passenger rail now for 5 years. Last 2 years, we've worked with 100 researchers. If you go to the website, I ask you to take a look and see what you think. Thank you.
Thank you, Vern. Tina?
Thank you so much, Jason, and thank you everyone for attending. Airdrie is at a pivotal moment in its growth, and now more than ever, we need leadership that is trusted and proven. Over the years, I've built strong relationships across all levels of government, locally, provincially, and federally. These connections aren't just symbolic, they're strategic. They've allowed us to bring real opportunities, funding, and solutions back to Airdrie. I've worked hard to earn the trust of our community and my colleagues across the province, and I've consistently shown that I can turn advocacy into action. I know this city. I've lived here, served here, and fought for it. I understand the challenges we face and the potential we hold. I'm not just ready to lead, I'm prepared to lead with experience, integrity, and a deep commitment to collaboration. Together, we can build a future that reflects the strength, resilience, and heart of Airdrie. This election, vote for a mayor who has the credentials to hit the ground running and the relationship building skills to move us forward. On October 20th, vote Petrow for mayor. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, Tina. Dylan?
Thank you, Jason. For me, I would say the biggest thing is making sure that the tax dollars of the citizens go to the correct place. For example, looking at amendments to the downtown incentive program, such as making sure that money that is given out is for permanent solutions and not just fleeting weekend adventures. Also, making sure that money is spent well and not just on roofs that will not be seen, but making sure that these incentives are strong and encourage growth in our downtown and other areas in Airdrie. I want to make sure that the local business economy in Airdrie is strong. I want to look at getting new anchor tenants, basically downtown. I'm focusing so much on it because it's such a priority for Airdrie to not be just a pass through town anymore. We need to start investing in our just industrial and everything and our citizens. Vote Dylan for mayor. Sorry, Dylan Harty. Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan. Dave?
All right. So I don't have any political experience apart from what I've learned so far in this campaign. I don't have any experience being a mayor, but neither do any of our fellow candidates. What I do have is a strong desire to make Airdrie a beacon of what it was and what it could be as the province's soon-to-be third largest city. With my strong work ethic that built our family's business from scratch, my honesty, and an upfront way of dealing with people in business and in life, to be able to not spend outside of our business or family's means and finding as many solutions to certain problems, or to keep looking until the best answer presents itself, as well as being a leader and motivator that I know the city needs and wants. Lastly, to listen. Just to listen to those more experienced, to those who have seen, to the family struggling to make it work, the small home business finding its way, the business leaders of our city and past and present. I will listen, I will ask questions, and I will act as the city's voice so that together we can make Airdrie stronger and ready for the future, but also honor our past. Vote for Dave Douglas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you all. And I wish you all the best of luck in the upcoming vote later this month. We're now going to move on to the council candidates. Each candidate will have 60 seconds to deliver an opening statement. Please unmute yourself when you're asked to speak. Microphones will automatically be turned off at the 60-second mark. You will see a timer counting down throughout the evening as each candidate speaks. Please note that the order of names were randomly generated for each question. The first 6 candidates sharing their opening remarks, randomly generated, and are Daryl Bellick, Kristen Shima, Ron Chapman, Anthony Morvillo, Candace Colson, and Craig Danzero. We are going to, the next 6 candidates sharing opening remarks will be Simisola Abasan, Chris Glass, Malik Shah, Kathleen McQuaig, Chad Stewart, and Rekha Mahay. And then the final 6 candidates sharing opening remarks will be Thomason, Adin Pekin, Al Jones, Karen Wittenbury, Jay Raymundo, Tammy Yance, and Christopher Baki. So we're now going to move on to the question and answer portion for oops, I got that. My apologies. I'm going to back that up here.
They all get 60 seconds, Jason.
We're doing the whole thing of block. Sorry, I skipped that part. Getting to the questions there. So, okay, Daryl, we're going to kick it off with you.
Thanks, Jason. Good morning, everybody, or good evening, everybody. My name is Daryl Wallach, and I've had the privilege of serving Airdrie as a city councillor. Over the past 12 years, I've focused on responsible growth, advocating for infrastructure like schools, healthcare, recreation, while keeping taxes reasonable. I believe in working collaboratively with businesses, community groups, and residents to ensure Airdrie remains a thriving, sustainable city for the families and entrepreneurs alike. I'm committed to bringing balanced, non-sensible leadership to council, and I look forward to earning your respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. Kristen.
Hi, everybody. I have called Airdrie home for the last 21 years with my family. It has been a place I've seen evolving and I have been contributing to, from being a community volunteer to an entrepreneur to finally a community servant and leader. I have been a part of the Chamber of Commerce with my small business about 15 years ago. I had a booth at the trade show for a few years, and it was a really pivotal in my success of my business taking off. For that, I am in deep gratitude. I service community overall, and how I do that is with my academic background and experience, which are very strong assets for this role. I have a master's degree specializing in building sustainable communities. I understand how cities are built, how communities are created, and how we work together addressing complex challenges. As for my experience, I work with municipalities over 8 years, and I also am currently an economic supporter as an executive director with Downtown Improvement Business Area in Calgary.
Thank you, Kristen. Ron?
Good evening, Ms. Alhus, Mr. Leslie. I'm Ron Chapman. I've been proud to serve Airdrie for 15 years on City Council. Over that time, I've focused on building a city where families and businesses can thrive. In the past 4 years, we've advanced major projects like planning the Southwest Recreation Center, Phase 1 of the Northeast Regional Park, Inspire, a new community hub and home for the public library, a new and a 4th fire hall to support growth. We are planning a new wastewater pipeline to Calgary, all while keeping one of the lowest municipal tax rates in Alberta and maintaining one of the lowest crime severity indexes. These are the kinds of fundamentals that attract investment, support local business, and strengthen our economy. Looking ahead, my priorities are open and transparent government, strong public safety, smart planning for growth, expanding affordable housing, and ensuring Airdrie remains a welcoming and vibrant community where businesses and residents can succeed. To our local business owners, I want you to know I'll continue working to keep Airdrie a place where you have the stability, support, and opportunity to grow and succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. Anthony.
Sorry about not having my video on. Just saw that. Thank you.
What do you think of when you think of a councillor? I think of representative of the city, and I think I can represent the city, and I'll tell you a couple reasons why. I've lived here for 20 years. I graduated from George McDougall. I played football, Chris Glass. And I've done every single phase of my life here. I have kids. I have 3 kids. I have 3 under 3. I have 2 twins, one set of twins. And yes, I'm pretty tired. And but we're working through it. I'm an electrician by trade, but my passion is youth. I've helped grow a youth program from 8 kids to over 200 kids, and I know what they're going through. I know their struggles, their mental health issues, and this has really driven my passion to run for city council. And we're going to be the 3rd biggest city in Alberta, and I think we are missing quite a few things, and I would love to be that person to take the city from a small town that it was to a big town. Everyone loves the city, including myself, but everyone kind of tells me the same thing, that we're missing quite a few things. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Candice.
Thank you for having me tonight. I'm running for re-election to City Council. I first moved to Airdrie in 2005. My children have been raised here, and this is where I opened my business, the Airdrie Farmers Market. Airdrie is where I choose to plant my roots. Over the past 3 terms, I've been proud to serve this community, not in front of cameras or through flashy videos, but by doing the steady behind-the-scenes work that I hope has made a difference. What drives me is listening to residents, fixing or updating bylaws, and working with others to find balanced solutions, even in difficult situations. I believe in being honest and straightforward. I won't promise what can't be delivered, but I will always work hard to make fair, fact-based decisions that reflect the needs of the community. I have always felt that Airdrie's future is bright, so please lend me your support once again. And I can promise I'll continue serving with level-headed leadership and a commitment to practical, thoughtful solutions for our city.
Thank you, Candice. Craig.
Hi, Craig Dansrow. I've been a proud Albertan for 25 years. I've worked in the oil and gas industry for 25 years. And as part of my experience, I've been involved in public consultation, stakeholder engagement, policy development. I've made a career out of listening to concerns and advocating for change. I've also been part of an audit committee for publicly traded and private companies. I've been trained in boardroom financials. So I think all of this experience that I've gained over the years in the private sector would be a great segue into public service. I think I would be more than qualified to fill the role as a councillor for the City of Airdrie. I'm excited. I'll advocate for the small business community and local employment, and I look forward to hearing from everyone in our city about what they like to see happen in this great city of ours. Thank you.
Thanks, Craig. Now we're going to move on to the next group of 6 here, and starting with Simisola.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here tonight. My name is Simi Obasan. I'm the first declared Airdrie City Council candidate. I'm a multi-qualified lawyer, an educator of law, a local business owner, a member of the board of the City of Airdrie's Property Tax Assessments Review Board. And I've spent my years of experience as a lawyer reviewing legislation, providing evidence-led advocacy, and holding institutions accountable. And as a dedicated member of this community that is given to service, after engaging with so many Airdrie residents to understand their concerns, I'm running for council to contribute meaningfully to help my community thrive. And my vision for Airdrie is focused on 6 core pillars with the tagline, "So Safe." I'm passionate about making sure Airdrie is so safe, and I look forward to hearing from you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Simi. Chris.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Glass, and I'm running for a seat on City Council. By trade, I'm an aviation and aerospace professional with over 25 years experience in continuous improvement. And since 2006, I've thrown myself into the Airdrie community. By nature, I'm a connector, and I love bringing people together. Many people know me as a longtime volunteer and a football coach, and I've been lucky enough to coach everywhere from our local bantam and high school kids to the pros. Go Stamps. I also host Airdrie Inside, the podcast here in Airdrie, and I serve on multiple boards and committees. But the one closest to my heart is the Airdrie Culture Fest Society, alongside my wife, Kim. My greatest Airdrie accomplishment to date is leading the Airdrie Field Turf Project Society that that transformed Ed Edgar Athletic Park into a safe gathering space for our youth and fueled economic development for local businesses and sports tourism. My platform is grounded in accessibility and affordability through smart infrastructure, rebuilding community relationships, and transparent communication. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. Malik.
Jason, your audio is a little bit faint. Malik is the next speaker.
Yes. Apologies. Is that better?
That's fine.
Go ahead, Malik.
Hi, Airdrie. This is Malik Shah. I'm a professional engineer, designation Masters of Engineer for ice hockey and curling rinks, and in designing and project management. So dealing with the various stakeholders of the city. I have built many rinks across Alberta, and one thing that I'm qualified for me to represent Airdrie's is like my deep commitment to the community services through my weekly food drives in association with the food bank and volunteers Airdrie. I have successfully organized a business expo to support the local businesses through with another organization called RBIS, and I'm deeply committed for the community, and I understand the role of the council is like governance over and strategic planning, budget deliberation and approval, and advocacy with other levels of government. By dealing with the bylaws is my day-to-day work, because I'm working as an engineering consultant, and together I'm thinking we can make it better. So thank you, Airdrie, for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you, Malik. Kathleen.
Good evening. I first became a resident of Airdrie in 2002, purchasing a new home for my young family in the Bayside community. Over the years, I volunteered with various groups, including Legion 288, Airdrie Minor Hockey, the Cooper's Crossing School, the Airdrie Health Foundation, and really anything that involved my 2 children or my 4 grandchildren. Previously, I was a small business owner, but I currently work in the medical equipment sector, specializing in home accessibility and mobility equipment for seniors and youth. As a candidate for this new and exciting council, my areas of interest include garbage collection and environmental stewardship. I share the growing concern among our fellow residents regarding the increasing levels of garbage on our streets. The removal of garbage and recycling containers by prominent businesses and commercial space owners is definitely an item I'll be working to have reviewed and corrected as soon as possible. Healthcare and social services. Yes, while these do fall under the authority of our provincial government, I feel that much can still be done at a local level to support existing services and expand. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Chad.
Good evening, everyone. It's awesome to be here. I'm Chad Stewart, and I've proudly called Airdrie home for 29 years. After 26 and a half years in various leadership positions at Eaton, including production manager, I bring real-world leadership and lean management experience, skills I'm ready to put to work for Airdrie. Our city is growing rapidly, and we need smart, business-minded leadership. My top priority is supporting local businesses to drive economic growth and reduce tax burden on families. That means cutting red tape, improving infrastructure, and creating a business-friendly environment that attracts investment and talent. I'm also a firefighter and paramedic, so I understand the importance of planning for public safety and essential services as we grow, but always with fiscal responsibility in mind. Furthermore, I'm a published author and a huge supporter of the arts and culture community. I'm committed to making decisions that serve residents and strengthen our local economy. My guiding principle will always be, is this decision good for the residents of Airdrie, its businesses, and for our city as a whole? Thank you.
Thanks, Chad. Rekha.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rekha Mahay, and I'm running for Airdrie City Council. I've proudly called Airdrie home for over a decade. This is where I've raised my 2 children and built a business from the ground up, literally from my basement into a commercial space. As a parent and entrepreneur, I understand firsthand the challenges that families, youth, and small businesses are facing in our growing community. Through my work in running a daycare, I've seen how important it is to invest in inclusive programs and strong community supports. I've also navigated the challenges of running a local business, from zoning permits to staffing and red tape. I'm running for council because I believe I need an Airdrie that works for everyone, a city where families have access to recreation and safe spaces, a city that takes mental health and community well-being seriously, and a city that plans responsibly for growth while keeping its identity and sense of community. My vision is simple: together for Airdrie, sorry, together we can create a stronger, more connected city for the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Now we're going to move on to our next group of 6, and starting with Thomason.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this forum. So my name is Tomi Adenipekun, and I'm running for Airdrie City Council. I believe our city, I'm running for Airdrie City Council, and I believe our city deserves smart growth, fair taxes, and a sustainable future. My priorities are clear. The first thing I want to do is lower taxes by cutting waste and making smarter decisions. The second thing on my platform is also in terms of water independence. I think we as a city need to start thinking and start planning of how we're going to be water independent, since we want to attract all the businesses, right? The other thing is investing in smart infrastructure as well that would actually serve families and businesses, whether it's from roads to transit to recreational centers or to the downtown revitalization. Most importantly, my campaign is about putting Airdrie first. Every major decision we're going to make, whether it's on growth, spending, services, must be rooted in what benefits the community, whether it's the residents or the businesses. I'm committed to actually listening and acting. Thank you.
Thanks, Tommy. Just letting you know, it could be just me, but at the end there, it just kind of cut out. So just maybe when you come back to the question, just make sure your mic's working okay there. Now we're going to move on to Al.
All right, there I am. All right, thank you. I'm running for re-election. I'm taking a common sense approach through life experience. I've lived here for 31 years with my family, and I've seen it grow from about 12,000 people to over 90,000 now. Raised my children from infancy here to now they're adults, and my wife and I have now been blessed with a grandchild. So I do see different challenges for different generations and different needs. And I believe it's important to see all of that. I've had 5 different businesses locally, all successful. I do understand the challenges that businesses face. I served a few terms on the Chamber of Commerce as a director. I'm hoping to further my contributions based on the experience that I've acquired over the past 8 years in the 2 terms that I've served thus far. Thank you.
Thanks, Al. Thanks for being able to join us here this evening. Karen.
My name is Karen Wittenberry, and I'm running for City Council because Airdrie needs a change. Many people are feeling like Airdrie is growing too quickly, and we have lost our ability to voice our concerns and be heard. I believe city officials need to do better. I can be the change. If elected, I would like to implement a ward system, a more direct and accountable way for communication between council and residents. Plan for people, reprioritizing the needs of Airdrie families and ensuring they are the top priority for the city and future development. Public engagement, putting city council meetings, town halls, appeals outside the typical 9 to 5 hours to increase greater public engagement, giving our muffled Airdrie residents their voice back, mine included. We can't change what the past has created, but we can change our standards for what we will accept for the future. As an elected official, the priorities of Airdrie families will guide my decision-making. Prioritize Airdrie families first. Vote Karen for Change Airdrie. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. I'm going to call on Jay.
For the past 18 years, Airdrie has been my home. My life is here. I've raised my 3 kids here. And like many of you, I want the city to be a place where families thrive. I've owned and operated NRG Fitness in Airdrie for nearly 2 decades, a small business that not only serves residents, but also gives back to local charities and community initiatives. My commitment to Airdrie goes far beyond my business. Over the last 4 years or so, I volunteered with School Council, Rocky View Local Immigration, Welcoming Airdrie, the Airdrie Sports Council, Fitness Industry Council of Canada, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Knights of Brazil. I've supported organizations like the Airdrie Food Bank, the Thumbs Up Foundation, Nowhere to Turn, Lace Up to Diabetes, and I Am Whole, while also creating events like the Energy Fitness Wellness Fair to support local businesses, the Hustle for Mental Health Father's Day Run to bring awareness to mental health. I want to be clear. I am here for Airdrie.
Thanks, Jay. Tammy?
Hello, neighbors. My name is Tammy Yance. I'm a 4th generation Airdrie resident, and this city has shaped who I am. I have deep roots. I've seen Airdrie grow from just 960 people to nearly 100,000, and I want to make sure that that growth continues in a way that reflects our values and celebrates what makes Airdrie unique. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 20 years and advocated for mental health for youth in difficulty and served on the former Airdrie Youth Justice Committee. I care about this community and believe in leadership. I also believe that leadership must value every resident. My priorities are accountability through transparency and high standards for elected officials, fiscal responsibility by managing resources wisely and limiting tax increases, and future planning because failure to plan is a plan to fail. That means preparing for growth with water strategy, local strong economy, recreation.
Thanks, Tammy. Christopher?
Great. Hey, everybody. Is this coming through?
Yes, sir.
There we go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for putting on this opportunity to kind of put a face to a name. My name is Christopher Backey. I am running for Airdrie City Council this October. I was born here. My family is raised here. I had the opportunity to join the Royal Canadian Navy, and I moved away for about 10 years. And that gave me the opportunity to kind of live all across Canada and have a really good example of what I'd like to bring back. I'm a family man. I have 2 daughters and a beautiful wife who also has a business here in the city. And I think there's so much that we can do. I vividly remember growing up and having a lot of amazing opportunities here. And I hope that I can bring that back and really drive some positive business change, some support for family, aging with dignity, and transparency in governance. I hope you can help me do that. Thank you.
Thanks, Christopher. So now we're going to move into the question component of this element. And just want to remind everyone that we're not taking any questions from the floor. So just want to, if you happen to have joined a little bit later, if you have a question that doesn't get addressed through the pre-selected and prepared questions, then we just encourage you to follow up with candidates after tonight to have your question addressed. So each of the candidates is going to have 60 seconds to respond to questions that are proposed to them. And the order of response is being randomly generated for each question. And so the first question will be delivered by Carrie-Ann Martin, the Advocacy Committee of the Chamber.
Hi, thank you. So nearly 1/3 of businesses say municipal budgets are unclear. What steps would you take to make Airdrie's budget more transparent and easier for residents and businesses to understand?
Thanks, Carrie-Ann. Anthony, we're going to start with you.
That's a great question, and I think I'm qualified to answer this. So I've been looking through the budget, and it is unclear. It's a lot of pages and a lot of numbers, and I'm pretty good with budgets and good with numbers, and it was hard for me to understand. So I used to run a Dave Ramsey financial freedom course in my church, and I was able to help people understand their budget and understand what's coming in and what's going out, and help them understand it because they need to know where the holes are before they can start to repair the damage. So I think there is a way to do it this way. I think we can break it down simply, and we can have like a flow chart that other businesses use, where income comes in, and then these are our expenses, and you can have a really great display on how the money's flowing. And you could create a video on how it looks, just so something more tangible and more digestible, I guess, for the people.
Thanks, Anthony. Craig?
Hi. Yeah, budgets, they can be big, they can be scary. There's a lot of line items in a budget. I think having transparency comes in many different ways. More information readily available through announcements, maybe even some presentations to small businesses, two-way communication so they understand the budgets and how the decisions were made. I think public forums are probably a good way to have the general population of Airdrie involved in budgets and make them aware. And then more regular meetings similar to this, Chamber of Commerce, small businesses, getting everybody discussing budget items, what they like about it, what they don't, what they'd like to see the next year, because these budgets are fluid and they're changing all the time. So I think those are lots of ways to be transparent and keep people in the know of what's happening.
Thanks, Craig. Karen?
I think this is a really good question. Transparency needs to happen more than just the budget. One of the biggest things that I've been advocating is for more public engagement. So we need to have better town halls. We need to have better council meetings that more people can attend to, and outside of that typical Tuesday at 1 p.m. With that budget being 117 pages, the average person isn't going to be able to read that. So if we announce that, middle of the month, every day on this day, we'll do one in the afternoon, one in the evening. We're going to go over the budget and break it down so that it's in layman's terms and everybody can understand. Now incorporates the public to be a part of that, to engage in that, and to have a say of how we are spending that money, and makes it easier for people to understand how that money is being spent. But again, it comes down to opening it back up to the public and including that public for engagement.
Thanks, Karen. Ron?
There we go. I have my camera on now. I got unmuted. Budgets. Wow. I'll be honest. I wish they were 117 pages. We get two binders, capital and an operating, which are hundreds and hundreds of pages each that are vetted. All our budget meetings are public. So I would say that when it comes to being unclear, we do have open houses. We do have portals available to look at the budget, but I do agree. There's a lot that gets vetted that the public doesn't see if they don't come to the meetings. The meetings are long. They're not exciting. It's one of the things that we have to do every year, and we've had to do. I've been through 15 years of it. And I remember in 2010, when I first got elected, that's the first thing they handed us was two binders that were 4 inches thick each. It's quite intimidating. I can understand where it's coming from the public side of it, but I do agree we should do something to engage the public to help with the budget process. Other than that, they're all public meetings.
Thanks, Ron. Kristen?
Hi. So when I look at budgets and that's transparency for the process, I would actually connect always with community, asking questions and engaging community on how they see the budget looking to them. We're looking at capital budgets and operating budgets and just how residents would like to receive the information, just go through who, what, where, when, why, and understand where does it live, and what does that look like for residents for transparency. It would be looking at the plain language with residents and making it really simple and clear and clean. So I would just go back to our community and look and ask and listen on what they are looking for. And it's very important to be transparent because that is money that's coming from our residents, and we have to be accountable and responsible for that.
Thanks, Kristen. Jay.
Hi, yes. So as far as transparency and understanding the budget, I think being in the service industry, as Ron said, it's open to the public. It is confusing. There is a lot of, it can be boring, but I think the best way to explain it is it's with them. What's in it for me? So when you can explain the budget in a way where the community, where the city and the members can understand what's in it for them, so what's in it for me, in a way where they can accept it and understand it, that is, I guess, the best way to communicate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. So now we're going to move on to the second question. And this is going to focus with or be responded to by the next group of 6. And the question being brought forward is from Marilyn.
Thank you, everyone. Rising costs such as permitting, licensing, and franchise fees are barriers to business growth. How would you evaluate and address the impact of municipal fees and taxes on business competitiveness?
Thanks, Marilyn. Candice?
Thank you. So those are always really tough questions. When it comes to franchise fees, we do, I'll just go from what I know. We do compare to other municipalities, making sure that our franchise fees don't get out of control. Of course, you saw in Calgary, they put caps on them. The province came down and changed franchise fees. I would say competitive edge in Airdrie, we don't have a business tax. We have a fair mill rate compared to some of our other comparable cities. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to balance the budgets. We have to look at where we're struggling in our community, what we can do better, how we can support businesses. And I think a lot of that also comes with education. I know through the years, we've done a little bit of a better job touching base with the chamber, making sure that we have those connections to our economic development team. They reach out to people who aren't maybe members of the chamber. So I think just keeping strong on that path, making sure that we are educating people, educating businesses, letting them know what's there for them. Thank you.
Thanks, Candice. Christopher?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. You know, we want to attract as much business as we can, so we want to ensure that you know, we can provide an affordable means of entry for, you know, those just starting out in business to those you know, that are bringing large quantities of funds to our city. You know, maybe reassessing some of the methods that we collect those fees. I know that we talk about business expansion, and once we really start that process, I like to think that the library is kind of a spark for our main business district. And, you know, as the snowball grows and as we attract more business, that's just going to be an easier and easier evolution for all businesses together. More funds creates more equity to go around. We can drop those fees. We can have sort of you know, first time entry minimum kind of feeing. There's lots of structures that we can look at to support.
Thanks, Christopher. Tammy?
Hi. I believe We need to ease the red tape and expenses regarding permitting. We need to have a faster process to assist business owners. We need to continuously hear their voices and include them in the decisions we make on council. That's everything. Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy. Tommy.
Thank you so much for the question. So one of the ways we could attract businesses to Airdrie is by one, trying to remove any form of red tape. So when it comes to permits, comes to licensing, we want to ensure that we remove any form of red tape and also speed processing times as well. Another thing when it comes to businesses coming to Airdrie as well is that we want to get the land ready for them as well. We want to ensure, because there have been complaints about businesses, Airdrians taking their businesses to Calgary because there are no spaces for them in Airdrie. And this comes as a result of demand and supply. So we need to actually increase our supply so that, you know, even Airdronians can establish their businesses in Airdrie. So once we have more supply, then there's demand. And at that point in time, we could have reduced leases or reduced rents where Airdronians can actually rent for their businesses. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tommy. Al.
Great. Thank you for the question. As Ms. Coulson's mentioned, we don't have a business tax. We do have a lower mill rate. We've got a much lower business license rate than most people, than most municipalities. Where we need to work further, we've got a very strong and talented economic development team, but they are expanding and constantly consulting, and we're always interacting with businesses to come up with new ideas. One of our greatest allies is our local Chamber of Commerce. It is very common for our economic team to sit down with the leaders of the Chamber of Commerce to look at issues. You have a very strong advocacy team in the Chamber of Commerce, and our economic team looks at that and uses a lot of their advice in some of the things they do. Constantly looking for new partnerships, constantly looking to further local business. Thank you.
Thanks, Al.
Jason, I have been hearing that we do have a candidate who's having technical difficulties. I don't believe Reka is with us at the moment. I'd like to sub out another candidate for this question, if you don't mind, and we'll have Daryl Bellick field that question.
Thanks, Marilyn.
Thank you, Marilyn and Jason. I was all prepared to ask the first question, but this question's come up, so thank you for that. And thank you for asking the question. I think that many of my colleagues have already addressed the education as well as the lower business tax within Airdrie, and we have been looking at new partnerships. We're always looking at partnerships for businesses to come to Airdrie. Yes, I know that Rocky View is the stopping gap really for businesses, but again, Airdrie has to attract through our AcDev department the businesses to come to Airdrie rather than stopping right at the Rocky View. And I think that with that, we're also looking at moving the wage scales. So once you move those wage scales to the north of Airdrie, that's going to open a whole other aspect of the downtown revitalization as well as attracting other businesses. Thank you.
Thanks, Daryl. So now we're going to go to our third question and next group of candidate responses. So over to Rebecca.
Thank you. The next question is, businesses and residents alike identify affordable, accessible housing as key to attracting and retaining workers. What role should the municipality play in increasing housing supply and offering diverse options?
Thanks, Rebecca. Chad, we're going to start off with you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jason. I really appreciate that. So yeah, this is a big question here because everyone's talking about affordable housing and what we're going to be doing. I know there's a number of incentives that the federal government, provincial government are putting in play that we could potentially maybe lock into. We need to look at advocating, I guess, with the developments, the developers in the Airdrie area to see about what they can do to build these, kind of smaller houses that are more affordable for people to access in that way. We can also develop incentive programs, within the developments, to be able to see about, providing more product on the market. I know it's a bit of a catch-22 because, with more housing market product, hopefully lower houses prices come in, but we also have to build infrastructure for that. So we have to be really careful and kind of balance out when we decide to do developments and also build the infrastructure for that. Thank you.
Thanks, Chad. Kathleen?
Great. Well, first of all, thanks to the 620 members of the Chamber who contribute with all of their fees to running our municipality. And accessible, affordable design is very near and dear to my heart. I work with people who struggle to find accessible and affordable housing every day of the week. And I say that those two things often go hand in hand. I would encourage right from the get-go universal design from cradle to grave, homes that allow people of all ages and all abilities to access the home. It also helps homes hold their value for the long term. I think the municipality should welcome designers and home builders that have that kind of a vision. I would like to see us welcome, even more than we did this year, Habitat for Humanity and other groups that partner and help offset the cost of some of these homes, either in sweat equity or again in business development partnerships, where we can get the funding to put more of these homes into our neighborhoods.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Simi?
So talking about improving affordable and accessible housing for businesses and residents in Airdrie, one of the things that I strongly believe would help will be the mixed use density approach to housing, because it not only allows multiple use of units, but also contributes more spaces for residents and for businesses alike. So we see more commercial uses, and we also see more residential uses. That expands options when it comes to property taxes, and it also allows for patronage, better patronage for businesses in the same district. So that's how I would respond to that question.
Thanks, Simi.
I believe Jason has frozen. Next will be Chris Glass.
Perfect. I wanted to make sure it wasn't me who froze up there. That's great. So affordability is on everybody's mind, and accessibility is something that's affecting everybody. And when it comes to housing, it's no different. One of the things that a lot of other people have talked about here is getting that density correct and trying to figure out that right mix of high density, low density, and single family homes. One of the things I noticed last year when I tore my rotator cuff and I couldn't drive is that affordability actually came down to more than just housing. It came down to accessibility to supermarkets and Safeway. And I was 45 minutes away from being able to get groceries if I didn't take a car. So that adds another layer of cost onto not only the cost of the house, but the cost of just living altogether. So for me, it's designing neighborhoods that allow people to get around affordably and to afford houses. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Malik?
Maybe Malik didn't hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about it. Yes, thanks for this question. Is Airdrie's population surge is past 90,000 and we aim to become Alberta's third largest city. We can't ignore this housing crunch for the residences and the commercial businesses. The mixed zone residency can be an option. Also, one of the options that I can think of is like having a partnership like Airdrie Housing Limited and the Rocky View Foundation, ensuring everyone has a place to home. Also, I understand that we can't ignore this housing crunch. Right now, households in core housing needs have jumped from 1985 to 2021 to a projected nearly 3,000 by 2031 without action. Low-income families and seniors are hit hardest with the wait list for affordable units stretching nearly 80 families long and no vacancies in sight. That's why our champion initiative to expand access to safe, affordable housing defined as costing no more than 30% of the household income. We are already secured, I think, 25 million from the Federal Housing Accelerated Fund to boost the diversity in our stock, especially for young adult seniors. Oh, wow.
Thanks, Malik. I think we're going to move on to the fourth question, which is going to be brought by Carrie Ann with the Chamber's Advocacy Committee.
Thank you. Parks, recreation, and cultural amenities improve quality of life, create vibrant, livable communities. What is your vision for these amenities over the next 4 years?
Thanks, Carrie Ann. Tammy, we're going to start off with you.
I think it's important for us to have a look into the future and start planning now for more rec centers and community event spaces to bring residents together here in Airdrie. Right now, I know we only have the Town and Country Center for large groups, and I think it would be good to try and combine a rec center with community spaces. I know the library has offering community spaces right now, but I think on a bigger scale, we need to have a look at that. Perhaps even combining a recreation center with an event center. Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy. Daryl, we're going to go to you.
Well, thanks, Jason. So really, I believe recreation is a vital component of the community. So I'm dedicated to the local parks, trails, and recreational facilities for all ages and disabilities or abilities. And investing in these recreation areas means investing in quality of life. Yes, we have the recreation center that's going to start to be constructed, and we've gone through the some plans, as well as the Northeast Park, regional park that we recently dedicated to the northeast of Airdrie. And that is going to be expanded upon within the next 4 years. And people have already been walking through that. And we have some big initiatives, some big plans, and we're going for engagement right now from the public to see what's in there and what we can contribute. And definitely that is a back and forth engagement process. Thank you.
Thanks, Daryl. Craig?
Hey, yeah, recreation is it's a huge part of Airdrie. We've got so many kids in this city that play hockey and skateboard and ride bikes. I think connecting all the green spaces with proper pathways, keeping them in good shape, just gets kids out in the neighborhoods, meeting each other, having a good time. We definitely need more hockey rinks as part of recreation, not just for the hockey teams, I should say skating rinks, but they provide a space for families to get out and enjoy time with each other as well, taking lessons, teaching their kids how to skate. It's part of Canadian culture. It's fantastic. One thing we don't do enough of in Airdrie is maybe music festivals could be a bigger thing here. We have a lot of outdoor space. and that really brings the community together as well. So I don't know, those seem like 3 ideas that I'd be interested in pushing forward. I like the sound of more music in this town. Calgary does have quite a bit, but we need more.
Thanks, Craig. Kristen?
So when it comes to cultural recreation amenities and parks, I look at these as third places where people connect and coming outside of their home. So with a vision of these amenities, it's really creating a cohesive cultural master plan or a recreation master plan and looking at what we have as current assets and also leaning into our strengths of what we currently do have and to support other opportunities. So I really see a hub and little nodes around neighborhoods and communities, but really a hub that we could really create with outdoor space and indoor space. We are lacking in some of these spaces and facilities, absolutely. But really it would be coming together as a plan and working with partners and including developers and creating something that we could build more meaningful together.
Thanks, Kristen. Chris?
This is perfect because it's right in my wheelhouse. I live in the recreation world right now as a football coach, and I've seen the power of what we can do when we invest in it. There was 2,500 people at a football game 3 Friday nights ago at Ed Edgar, and it was just a great thing to be seen. I would like to see our city look to Nisku at the Silent Ice Center. Cost of $25 million. It took 2 years to build and added 2 ice rinks to the community. I would like to see us invest in infrastructure that could be used to host events and to host music events and to bring in more sports tourism dollars. For every time somebody spends a night in our city from outside of the city, it brings in $200 to our local economy. And to me, that's a way to spend our taxpayers' money and bring in more tax revenue. So that's what I'd look to.
Thanks, Chris. Malik?
Yeah, thanks for this question, and I'm really is that question is near heart to me because I'm a engineer for the hockey rinks and arenas, and I also done many cultural events. So what I can think of that right now, the city, what we should focus is investing in improving and enhancing existing infrastructure for the long-term sustainability and efficiency. And I believe that since it's always a capital investment you required for having a new facilities. I understand that Southward Recreation Center is in progress and it can be done by 2030. So my focus will be having a cost-effective rec facility sooner than possible so that we can meet the growing needs of our community. Thank you.
Thanks, Malik. We're now going to go back to Marilyn to bring us our next question.
Thank you, everyone. Clear and timely communication builds trust between business and municipal leaders. How would you strengthen collaboration with the business, private sector, and organizations like your local Chamber of Commerce?
Thanks, Marilyn. Ron, we're going to go to you.
Thank you for the question, Marilyn. How would we strengthen communication between business and city? I think, as you know, we have a member of our economic development team that sits on the chamber as a director. And I think I attend a lot of the breakfast meetings, everything like that. For communication back and forth, I think it's an open communication that we have to have with our administration. And I would like to see all of council involved in the chamber as much as possible, just to see what's going on out there. I know what's going on out there. I do have a small business in town, and I don't have to deal with the city much, but I've never seen an issue with the city per se, but I think we just have to keep that open communication between our economic development department, the chamber, and businesses. They're very approachable. It's one phone call to economic development, and I don't think they would turn anybody away from any question. So I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Thanks, Ron. Jay.
Okay, awesome. So sitting as the executive board with the chamber does this really well. They are proactive in their communication. So they reach out to the small businesses that are part of their network, and they talk to them. They just discuss their issues. They get to know them. They ask how they can help. So being proactive and reaching out to the businesses is one way to help with that communication. Collaboration, that's what I did with my Energy Fitness Wellness Fair, was I collaborated with all the local fitness and wellness businesses. So we weren't competing against each other. We were actually collaborating, learning about our businesses, working together, creating a referral network. And then working together, we have so many great resources like the Chamber, Smart Start program, Entrepreneurs Common, and things like that. So if we could collaborate with that, start with the fresh entrepreneurs to the veteran business owners, communication is going to flow freely, and it would help grow our economy. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Tommy.
Thanks for the question. So I think one thing we need to do is to have regular roundtable meetings. So when we're making decisions, we should involve the Chamber of Commerce. That will improve transparency, and they understand, budgets. They understand what the city is trying to do, and they could give input as well, which is very important too as well. Another thing as well is a business advisory committee. I don't know if that exists already, but that's something that, having some Chamber of Commerce members being on there, so they're able to give their input to decisions being made in the city as well. Another thing I'll say is regular form of communication and from a bureaucracy. Like, I think someone in the Airdrie Chamber of Commerce should be able to call the councillor, should be able to have, open communication with the council, so that be able to get feedback from them. So I think in terms of communication, just more of transparency, more of giving them a seat on the table as well, having a round table, whether it's quarterly round table meetings, so that we could hear input from the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
Thanks, Tommy. Candice.
Thank you. So all really, really great suggestions from all the candidates, actually. So that's really nice to hear. I think building a culture of collaboration is something that we've been working really hard to do. We have, of course, as Ron mentioned, people from our dev department that sit with the chamber and have been there for many years, know the history, are great at learning what's happening at council. We could do better at clear communication, especially during change. So anytime there's a change in bylaws, a change in service levels, all of those things, reaching out to the chamber, let them know what's going on. Having a database of ways to reach those businesses that also maybe not be a part of the chamber, because there are a lot of them out there that don't necessarily have that connection. I deal with a lot of them through my business at the farmers market as well. People that don't necessarily join the chamber, they don't know what's going on. We could do regular business spotlights on municipal channels, Facebook, social media, those types of things. I think we can do better. Being transparent and accessible always is what we should do. Jurassic Park music, my favorite.
Simi.
Yeah, thank you. As a member of the Airdrie Chamber of Commerce myself, I have found that the Airdrie Chamber of Commerce is very beneficial for local businesses in Airdrie. And as a local business lawyer, I did also observe a gap. I know that the city could do more to better support local businesses in Airdrie. So off the top of my mind, the first thing I will think about will be regular meetings with the Airdrie Chamber of Commerce that would address concerns and would explore opportunities for collaboration on initiatives that will benefit both the city and local businesses in Airdrie and improve local business support, and even also contribute to the economic growth of Airdrie. So that's how I'll respond. Thank you.
Thanks, Simi. Kathleen.
I do believe that clear communication can never be clear enough or communicated often enough. I believe it's important for our 620 chamber members to be the first to find out when there are changes and decisions being made at the municipal level that affect them. And certainly any council can work to do better on that. Would love to see councillors featured in your monthly newsletter. Would love to attend chamber meetings. I belonged to chambers in the past. I always find it a really exciting hot pot of ideas. If elected, I promise to visit all 620 myself personally and listen to your concerns. And I agree with some of the other suggestions 100% that we could also work to present members on calling cards or through social media and help promote your business at no additional charge through the municipal channels that already exist, and open to ideas for what might need to be created in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathleen. We're going to go back to Rebecca to bring our next question.
Thanks, Jason. The next question is, hospitals fall under provincial jurisdiction. What is your plan for working with the provincial government to advocate for hospital or adequate healthcare facilities in our city?
Thanks, Rebecca. Al?
All right, excellent question. So I will say that the current council advocates on a very regular basis, we're going to miss our mayor. He's been a great champion for trying to further those initiatives. We have had some successes. Once a year for the past 2 years, we've been going up to the legislature as a whole and addressing not just all the sitting MLAs, but those sitting in opposition as well, to further our cause and our needs. I was very happy to see just this past weekend, although this isn't necessarily from our advocacy, but it's nice to see that we're attracting. I did meet a new doctor that is taking patients here in Airdrie, and he tells me that he's bringing a couple more. So basically continue relationship with our MLAs, talking to and reaching out to the health minister as often as possible, and continuing on with that relationship. Thank you.
Thanks, Al. Anthony?
Yeah, I think it's kind of been hammered home that it's a provincial issue, but there are things we can do. And my wife is a nurse. She's worked in the hospitals. And she works with the people here in Airdrie, and she sees what needs to be done, and that's a lot of people are really struggling with mental health here, and I really think that recreation is one big thing that's going to help people with mental health, but for adequate healthcare, I think what's happening is we're putting band-aids on top of band-aids with this urgent care that we have. And I know One Health is going to be another option that is going to be great for people. But if you have a heart attack, are you going to drive to Didsbury because it's closer? No, you're going to go to a real hospital. And I think, sorry, not that it's not a real hospital, but you're going to go to a big hospital. And I think Airdrie needs a real solution and a big hospital. I know there's plans between Airdrie and Calgary, and I think we need something real and big and not more band-aids.
Thanks, Anthony. Karen?
I'm not sure if we've lost
There we go.
Karen.
All right, there we go.
Perfect.
Got it. I was having issues. Okay, so I think this is a really good question because everybody obviously knows hospitals are like school, where it is provincial jurisdiction. So the important thing as a municipal level is maintaining that relationship with our MLAs, especially with Airdrie Cochrane and Airdrie East MLAs, and making sure that they know that Airdrie is that squeaky wheel and what we require as Airdrie in that regards. I understand the need for a hospital, I do, but I think we have to start looking at the whole picture that the likelihood of Airdrie ever getting a hospital is probably going to be slim, due based to the fact that we are too close to Didsbury and we are too close to Calgary, especially with that new hospital slated for Livingston. So what is our next best? Our urgent cares or a regional hospital. If we were to bring a hospital into Airdrie, what specialists are going to want to leave Calgary, want to leave Bath, and come live in Airdrie? Most likely they're not going to, and you're still going to have to go into those cities to have a specialist assess you.
Thanks, Karen. Christopher.
Perfect. Yeah, this is a very hot ticket item for sure. I've talked to a lot of people around our city, and the hospital is kind of the number one thing that's brought up time and time again. We've all said it, we all understand it. It's more or less out of our control putting in a brand new facility. But when we talk about a hospital, we're really talking about a range of healthcare services. So whether that's looking at restructuring it so that we have more practical uses, possibly better triage so we can understand the needs, or possibly a seniors triage so we can, provide a quicker, accessible array of services based on the needs that are required that we're consistently seeing. We can expand capabilities like recovery rooms. So when members are coming back home after a surgery, they still have that need and that support where they don't have to go back into the city. There's many avenues that we can look at to better support our city for sure, other than building an entire hospital.
Thanks, Christopher. Chad.
Yeah, this is a great question and one that's near and dear to me, being a firefighter and paramedic. So yeah, lots of people have talked about regional health. And I think it's obviously needs to be stats based. We need to look at the data and the statistics with our growing city to find out, where people are traveling to get their emergency services and how long it takes and so on. Even with 911, it's a bit of a difficult challenge at times, to get the help you need in order to get the, to the hospital. I think maybe we need to do a better job, obviously, advocating with the province. We also need to maybe invite the health minister down and discuss it, show them around the city and discuss what our needs are, and ask the province what it would take, for us to have a regional health center or for us to have better medical services. Also, there's a slew of expert doctors in the area. My personal doctor for 27 years, Dr. Kine, was instrumental in helping develop the urgent care clinic, and he's working at One Health as well to help develop that for additional services. So we bring those experts together and we find out what we can do, and we get all the ideas on the table.
Thanks, Chad. Rekha, you back with us?
I did see Rika earlier.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Nope.
Yes, thank you for the question. So I think, like others have said, just continuing to advocate for our community. When we first moved here, urgent care was not 24 hours, and I do appreciate that it is now open 24 hours. And also just bringing in more of those doctors, more of those professionals, opening up those walk-in clinics, and having more services available for our community. That also includes mental health. The urgent care does provide a psychiatrist, but the hours are limited. So even if we can just add on small things that would make a big difference, I think that would be beneficial to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm now going to go back to Carrie Ann to bring our next question, please.
Thank you. So many candidates have spoken about enhancing municipal services. What is your plan for funding these enhancements, and how would you balance competing priorities?
Thanks, Carrie Ann. Malik?
Sorry again. Well, it's a very good question that we have a lot of wish list, but where the money comes from. So basically, we need to balance our budget, balance smart growth. What is our first priority? The first priority should be have a strategic budget allocation of the existing facility, investing and making them efficient. Then empowering the local businesses so we can get the revenue to do more extra projects, and then capital investment for the growth. So basically we're going to be having a new projects based on the capital investment that we attract. So my priority would be like just tweaking a little bit. Let's say just one example for public transportation. So currently the public transportation is not going to these health facilities in Calgary, and the college age kids their parents have to forced to relocate because they are not reaching there. So just tweaking in the route also can make serve them, and they are not forced to relocate. And also that we can get the services direct access for the Petrow, Alberta Children's Hospital and Foothill Hospital. So there are some out of box thinking we have to do here.
Thanks, Malik. Candice?
Thank you. So, yeah, competing priorities and budget time is basically what we've lived for the last 20 years in the city of Airdrie. I mean, I think that there's a lot of leverage in grants and partnerships. Obviously advocating to the province to make sure that those grants are transparent, reliable, prioritizing and phasing in projects. So you'll see a lot of times where we don't just build something right out of the gate because it's just not affordable to our residents. As some of those capital projects that we have funded in the past drop off, we can bring new ones on. So I think that, I mean, that's why we phase things, right? Prioritizing it, I would say really essential services is what we need to prioritize right out of the gate. We can spread those large projects over multi-year budgeting, look at collaborations, innovations, maybe some P3 projects, those types of things.
Thanks, Candice. Anthony?
Could you repeat that question?
I'll go ahead and do that. Many candidates have spoken about enhancing municipal services. What is your plan for funding these enhancements, and how would you balance competing priorities?
Sorry. It's a super good question. So what I think we need to increase how we get our money, of course, and we also need to decrease our spending. I think an internal audit needs to happen. I think when you look at private companies, you see they do this all the time and they find money. So if private companies can do it, surely Airdrie has some inefficiencies we can find, and we could probably find quite a bit of money. And then we also need to increase how we get our income. So that's through industrial, through industrial parks, and also through grants as well. And I think with that, I think we need to prioritize what the people need. And I think it's clear that the people are screaming for recreation. I knock door to door, and I think they're screaming for recreation, and they leave Airdrie. Everyone wants to do something here, but they have to leave Airdrie to do anything.
Thanks, Anthony. Kristen?
Okay, so I'd be looking at balancing competing priorities with developer partnerships. So developers are part of that system of our ecosystem with building community. So I'd look at strengthening those partnerships and having them invested in our community. Also, provincial and federal support with advocacy and grants. Those are really, really important to connect on as we build our communities out, our communities in general. Also looking at reducing our urban sprawl with building more mixed use density. That's more of a long term, but it's something that we could start looking at right now. Also looking at building industrial and commercial activity for relieving tax pressures. So increasing that ratio with the commercial and industrial use with shovel-ready lands, and also regional collaboration and strengthening our efficiencies and working together. So those partnerships are really important.
Thanks, Kristen. Rekha?
Okay, no more technical difficulties. So as others have said, listening to our citizens and really listening to what it is that they want and what we need. So yes, recreation is big in this city, and growing up with having two teenagers growing up here, there's not always a lot for them to do. We did all the things when they were little, the swimming lessons and all the clubs, but now we're at a bit of a loss. So yes, looking for those grants that are available for the city, whether it's for the youth or it's for the seniors, and really being open with the public about the funding and where the money's coming from, and being able to see the budget wide open and clear for everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Brecca. Al?
Sorry, can you hear me? All right. So I don't know how to, a lot of, like some of the other questions tonight, I am privy to the fact that a lot of these things are being worked on as we speak of. So I don't beyond, I don't want to seem like I'm pandering or anything, but a lot of the things, I agree with a lot of what the other candidates have said thus far. But I also believe that a lot of those things are in the works or have been worked on thus far. So I'm kind of saying, you know, let's revisit what we are doing for sure when this election's over, but don't take our foot off the gas of some of the things that have been started. So I don't know how to expand on that any further. But thank you for the question.
Thank you, Al. So now we're going to go back to Marilyn to bring our 8th question.
Thank you, everyone. With Airdrie's downtown revitalization plan already in motion, how do you see our downtown evolving, and what are your goals for its future growth? I'm guessing you all want to answer that one, but only 6 of you will have the opportunity this time.
Oh, Marilyn. Teasing everybody. Well, Sammy, we are going to start with you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so with the topic or subject of revitalization of the downtown, I must applaud the work that the current council has done so far to revitalize. One of the things I know we can do is take our existing structures and repurpose them. For example, I'm not sure how many people are familiar with World and Young in Toronto. That building used to be a small strip mall and was revitalized into a multi-purpose building project for businesses, and turns out a lot of income from property taxes from business owners. That's one thing we can do in our downtown, to repurpose buildings, existing buildings, to make it more attractive for local businesses and potential investors, and also to attract more people to be in our downtown and make the heart of our downtown more commercial. Thank you.
Thanks, Sammy. Tammy.
I think this is a great question. I think downtown revitalization is critical to Airdrie small business. We need to increase walkability to draw people in from other communities. We need to focus on shopping and restaurants. We just need to make it more attractive. When I look at Cochrane and Okotoks and compare it to Airdrie, we really need some help here. And I think by doing the revitalization and sticking to the plan, that it's going to draw in more business to Airdrie. Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy. Ron.
Downtown revitalization. Well, Airdrie used to have a downtown. Tammy would remember that. And it has gone by the wayside. It was years ago. It used to be angle parking. It was downtown. It was walkable. But going forward, we have to realize that the city of Airdrie doesn't own all that land downtown. Those are private landowners that have to get on.
We lost Ron, unfortunately. Let's carry on to the next, and perhaps we'll have Ron back to finish his thoughts shortly.
Sounds good, Marilyn. Christopher.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is one of my key elements. I was born in Airdrie. I remember having a mall accessible kind of right downtown in the main area. My grandmother worked there. The seniors kind of would gather for coffee. I like to say it was the heartbeat of the city. It was a place that you can join your community, connect, reach out, have that extra place outside of the home. And I think that we're missing that. I'm excited to see the library kind of act as that spark or that catalyst that'll drive that new business development. Airdrie is so spread out that it makes our small businesses suffer with kind of, you have to know where you need to go. That walkability is just not there. And when you're, lacking in mobility, if you have families or you're of age, that can be difficult. So if we can compile our resources, rezone some areas, and allow it to be a walkable, enjoyable space for families to gather, I think that would greatly revitalize our downtown.
Thanks, Christopher. Chad.
We do have Mr. Chapman back. Sorry. If you don't mind, we'll just pause for Chad and allow Ron to finish his thoughts.
Thank you. I don't know where I got cut off, but like I was saying, years ago, Airdrie did have a downtown, angle parking, so on and so forth. But going forward, I think we have to realize that the city of Airdrie doesn't own a whole bunch of land downtown. We own very little land downtown, except for Main Street Square and possibly another parcel. But we have to work together with the landowners to make sure that they're developing and they want to develop. And I think the city would have to come up, and we may have to look at some incentives. There's some empty lots that have been empty for far too long, but we now have a beautiful gateway into downtown with the Inspire Center. I think it's a great segue into revitalization. It's a beautiful building. I believe it's well worth the investment that was made in that building, and hopefully it'll bring people forward. I'm looking forward to walking downtown with the new building, to seeing what's coming forward. But the big thing is we have to get businesses on side and bring them into Airdrie, maybe with some incentives to build. That's all we got.
Thanks, Ron. So Chad, we're going to go back to you here.
All right, thanks a lot, Jason. Yeah, so downtown, when I first moved to Airdrie, I think recreation's key as well. Being downtown, we in Jensen Park used to have like a wade pool. It was nice because the community could get together and that's just a walk, a step downtown. We'd also create some paths for easy access. A lot of candidates have already said that. I find traffic sometimes a little bit frustrating down there. So is there something we could do with the traffic to make it a little easier to access that? And what are the best practices? Can we talk to other communities who have actually been able to do the downtown core revitalization, like Cochrane and such, and see what they've done and maybe copy some of that? Sometimes the best things we can do is actually just take a page out of somebody else's book, right? And then if we can encourage small businesses somehow through incentive programs. I know Ron said we don't own the land down there, so maybe we can partner with the landowners for like small boutique coffee shops and things like that, that just would make Airdrie that much more livable downtown and make it much more enjoyable. Thank you.
Thanks, Chad. Kathleen?
Yes, thank you. I will say that I believe the city administration has done a great job putting this proposal on the table, and any of us can read it on the Airdrie website. If I was going to add to some of the incentives that they have listed, I have 6 that come to mind. 1, buy the hotel land. If we can, get a hold of it and just hold it till we're ready to move on that. I'd love to see the government services move off of Main Street. Maybe it's time for certain services to still be accessible in Airdrie, but not be taking up that prime Main Street real estate. Do we need to consider or reconsider height restrictions in our building code, again, to add in that livable space? Do we need a budget to purchase private homes going north towards veterans, again, to expand into the future? I think we can never pay too much attention to environmental curb appeal and prettiness in working with what we have and incentivize our business owners to make their space and their storefronts more attractive. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathleen. So now we're going to go to our final question for the evening, brought to us by Rebecca.
Thank you, Jason. When it comes to attracting large-scale business investment, how would you position and promote Airdrie as a prime destination for investors?
Jay, kick us off with this one.
Wow, thanks. Great question. Airdrie, I've been here for 18 years, and the way I would promote Airdrie is that Airdrie's vibrant. Airdrie's growing. We have an amazing community, a diverse community that celebrates culture. We have a strong youth presence. We have athletes, we have performers, we have entertainers, like Brandon Lorenzo. So we have the attraction to bring businesses, we have the attraction to bring residents, and we have the community that cares. We're very charitable. We work with a lot of the charities. We're very giving. We have a huge volunteer base. Our seniors are very active. And so that is going to bring that vibrancy to Airdrie. It's going to keep that vibrancy to Airdrie. And what business doesn't want that vibrancy? That vibrancy is going to attract a lot more traffic into the area. Again, the downtown revitalization is going to bring that in there. The Inspire is already there to set that up going.
Thanks, Jay. Chris.
This is a great question. One thing that I love about the city is how vibrant it is and how much culture that we have when it comes to athletics and everything that we have in it. But the biggest selling feature that we have as a city is we are 15 minutes away from what I call the Airdrie International Airport, and we are a much easier place to do business in than Calgary. So my main sales pitch to any big company out there that's looking to do business in Calgary is come to Airdrie because it's easier. We have counselors that'll listen to you. We have economic development that will help develop your business. We are the place you want to be, and we're as close to Calgary as Calgary is. On a busy day, it's easier to get to Airdrie than it is to get to downtown Calgary from the airport. So come do business in our city because we're easy. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Tommy.
Thanks for that question. So one of the things I would pitch to investors coming to Airdrie is one is our location, right? We're off the QE2, close to the airport as well. The second thing I would pitch to investors as well is our young population as well, right? So we have the resources when it comes to workforce as well. The third one is our business tax is 0 at the moment, so that's a very great attraction for investors to come to Airdrie. The other thing as well is our lifestyle as well. We're community oriented as a city, right? So that's those are huge talking points to actually attract businesses to Airdrie. So yeah, those are my talking points, and investors listening to those would definitely attract them to Airdrie. Thank you.
Thanks, Tommy. Karen.
Okay, this is a great question. I think a really important one too, because we obviously need investors to come in and help rejuvenate some of that revenue. So big one, obviously, chambers. Talking with Alberta Tourism, seeing what they can do to help keep that attraction in there. Working with those elite groups that are wanting to come in. One of the biggest things that other people commented on is our location. Our location is key. You're not going to downtown Calgary, you're not paying the downtown prices, you're paying the Airdrie prices, which is huge. Plus, Airdrie is all about community and supporting that local. So as you have a franchise business looking to get out of Calgary, why not show them those benefits of Airdrie that, hey, we're a great community, we like to support the community, we like to support local, set up shop here, because you'll have that community engagement and that community commitment from them. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. Rekha.
So one of the things I would really do is showcase our growth that we've had in the last few years here. I think that alone would really attract large scale businesses to come to Airdrie. And also showcasing our youth. We have high schools that are very overpopulated. And a lot of those kids are looking for work, they're looking for jobs, and we just can't support that. We don't have enough local businesses to hire these kids. Not only kids, even the adults. The other thing is our senior population, also showcasing them. They all want places to go. We all need new businesses in the city. Thank you.
Thanks, Rekha. Daryl.
Thanks, Jason. When we're talking large businesses, we're talking the ProPacs. We're talking organizations that house 400 to 500 people. And Airdrie has been approached by those large businesses. And some of the times we just don't have the shovel-ready land to support one of those larger businesses from coming in. Almost every week, ECDEV is having discussions with large businesses, and it's in negotiations. And a lot of it is, yes, we are close to the airport, but again, wheel scales are contradicting movement between international areas such as Calgary, Edmonton, for example, to Airdrie. So that's another block that we have right there, and that is a discussion we're continuing with the provincial government, is to get those wage scales out of the way so we can attract the businesses rather than them stopping off at Rocky View. Thank you.
Thanks, Daryl. Craig.
Hey, yeah, so these large scale investment businesses, yeah, they're large organizations with a brand recognition. These companies need, two things. They need lots of customers, they need some exposure so these customers can find them. So better accessibility, better infrastructure to accommodate these large organizations would be required. That being said, Highway 2 corridor space would be ideal. So maybe making improvements to these service roads and the way businesses are set up along the Highway 2 corridor, maybe improving off ramps. The Highway 40 off ramp doesn't have any southbound access, and the off ramp in between Veterans and Yankee, maybe there's some way we can improve that so traffic can flow both ways. These things will open up that Highway 2 corridor space and bring in larger organizations that want to use it.
Thanks, Craig. And thanks to all our candidates for the thoughtful responses to the questions this evening. We're now going to be moving into closing remarks, which will be delivered in reverse alphabetical order. Everyone will have 60 seconds to deliver these opening remarks. And Tammy, we are going to you first.
Thank you. Thank you, Chamber, fellow candidates, and citizens who have tuned in to hear us. I look forward to the opportunity to serve Airdrie. I've loved this city for many years. We have many challenges ahead of us, but I will bring innovative, transparency, and a thoughtful approach to finding solutions. I promise to listen to your concerns and visions for Airdrie's future. Airdrie is on the threshold of great growth, great changes, and great passion for creating our own unique culture. Join us, get in on the ground level, and grow and thrive with us. Please vote yes, October 20th. Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy. Karen?
Hey, I've lived in Airdrie for over a decade, and I'm a blue-collar, single-income family with 3 kids. My experience as a 911 dispatcher, I've learned how to listen, engage, and advocate. I know how to make tough decisions and not take no for an answer. My common sense, combined with this experience, gives me the confidence to know that I'd be a good fit to be your counselor. Vote Karen for Change Airdrie on October 20th.
Thanks, Karen. Chad?
Well, thanks again, everyone, for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. Airdrie is at a pivotal point in its growth, and the decisions we make now will shape our city for decades to come. As someone with a strong background in leadership, lean management, and public service, I know how to get results while respecting your tax dollars. Local businesses are the backbone of our economy, and as a councillor, I'll work to create the environment where they can thrive with smarter infrastructure, reduced barriers, and a long-term vision that supports sustainable growth. I'm not a career politician. I'm a lifelong resident who cares deeply about this city and the people who call it home. If elected, I'll bring practical experience, accountability, and the commitment to putting Airdrie residents and businesses first. So on election day, October 20th, let's move Airdrie forward together. Vote Chad Stewart for City Council. Strong leadership, smart growth, and a clear vision for Airdrie's future. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Chad. Kristen.
I just want to say thank you for everyone being here tonight. As part of my why, I really want to help. I want to share my experience and knowledge in serving Airdrie residents. I can support in connecting the dots of challenges a little bit more easily and understanding to create longer, stronger solutions and overall empowering our community. I've attracted large-scale commercial investments of $220 million in a community to supporting 220 businesses with downtown revitalization. In addition, I understand the hustle of being an entrepreneur. I was one. It is a grind. You wear many hats and there are constant challenges to navigate. But having an entrepreneur or business owner title is the best title you could have and place to be. Wear it proudly, and I hope to support you. Thank you.
Thanks, Kristen. Malik?
First of all, thank you, Airdrie Chamber of Commerce, to providing a platform to connect with the residents. I'll just kind of keep it simple. My commitment to the community services, my hands-on experience, my education not only highlights my ability to address passing community needs, but also reflects my dedication to fostering inclusivity and support for all residents. My top three priorities will be a balanced, smart growth, public transportation, support, safety, and then I'm going to advocating for empowering local businesses and attract the more businesses. So on this October 28th, I request you to vote for me and have a elected professional engineer for ice hockey and curling rinks for the city council. Thank you.
Thanks, Malik. Jay.
Thank you to the Chamber and to all of you for being here tonight. This forum just shows how much Airdrie residents truly care about the city. Again, for the past 18 years, I've been proud to call Airdrie my home. I've raised my family here, built my small business here. I've given back through volunteering and supporting charities that matter to our community. My record of service with organizations like Welcoming Airdrie, the Airdrie Sports Council, School Council, Chamber of Commerce, proves that my dedication to this city didn't just happen 3 months ago. It's been here for years. So as your counselor, I'll continue to listen, to collaborate, and to bring the same energy and commitment I've shown through initiatives like working with Healthier Together Airdrie, being able to provide access and affordability through rec center passes, Try It Sports Week, and things like that. So where we can make Airdrie a place where families and businesses thrive. So on October 20th, vote for Jay Raimondo so we can make Airdrie stronger together. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Simi.
I'd like to say thank you to the Airdrie Chamber and everyone who tuned in to be a part of this forum. My team and I have engaged at more than 20,000 doors and listened to more than 60% of Airdrie residents at their doors, and I've felt the pulse and the heartbeat of the community. And I'm armed with the true needs and concerns of Airdrie residents. As a wife, as a mom, a lawyer, a local business owner, advocate, and avid volunteer in Airdrie, I'm excited to get into council and work tirelessly to make sure that the voices of those Airdrie businesses and non-business residents are heard at council meetings and reflected in every council decision that is made. So thank you for your support and for your votes for Simi Obasan as Airdrie City Councillor. And together, let's make Airdrie so safe. Thank you.
Thanks, Simi. Anthony.
Airdrie is going to be the third biggest city in just a few years. We're going to be 200,000 people in 15 years. And we're a few steps behind. When I think of the third biggest city, Red Deer, they got a polytechnic school, arenas, baseball teams, sports tourism, rec centers, outdoor leisure. And I'm not here to compare, but actually I am comparing. I think we are missing a few things. And we need to be aggressive in the next phase of Airdrie's growth because we are pretty behind. We need to think 30 years in advance, not just 5 or 10 years in advance. When someone asks you, what do you want to do this weekend? It's always let's leave. I want the answer to always be let's stay in Airdrie, because businesses right now are failing because nobody's here on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Restaurants fail all the time. I see them close up shop all the time. I'm going to do an audit to increase or to decrease our money. I'm going to grow our industrial park to increase our income. I hope that you vote Anthony Morvillo on October 20th.
Thanks, Anthony. Rekha.
Thank you everyone so much for taking the time out to be here today. Like I've said before, Airdrie is more than just a city. It's where I live, it's where I've raised my family and grown my business. And I've really connected with this amazing community. I'm running for City Council because I believe Airdrie deserves thoughtful growth, support for our local businesses, and safe, inclusive spaces for youth and families. Together we can build a city that isn't just a bedroom community, but a place where people truly belong. My commitment to you is simple. I will work hard and I will always put the community first. On election day, I ask for your support because together we can build a stronger Airdrie. Thank you.
Thanks, Rekha. Kathleen?
My thanks to Marilyn and the Airdrie Regional Chamber of Commerce team for facilitating this event, and to you, Mr. Jason Leslie, for volunteering your time as our moderator. These are simply just the best opportunities for our voting residents to ably and fairly assess all of the candidates equally. I have appreciated the opportunity to listen, to learn, and to participate. It's my intention to be a councillor who listens, who learns, and who participates actively for the improvement of Airdrie as a whole and for the future of our families. A vote for me is a vote for a strong, fresh, and determined person who does not come to the council table with prior alliances, commitments, or bias. Thank you again, and remember that Kathleen for Airdrie is Kathleen for you. Good night.
Thanks, Kathleen. Candice?
Thank you. So over the past 3 terms, I've done my best to serve Airdrie with honesty, transparency, and accountability. I'm not afraid to admit when something didn't go the way it should have, because leaders must lead. True leadership is listening, learning, and improving. We are at a pivotal moment. Growth pressures, the need for strong advocacy, and the challenge of balancing services with affordability are real. I will continue to work hard to push for smarter growth, to ensure business can set up and thrive here alongside families, and to create an environment where entrepreneurs feel supported and see Airdrie as a place of opportunity. At the same time, I know that community safety is at the heart of our quality of life. Families need to feel safe in their neighborhoods, and businesses need to feel secure in investing here. Supporting our first responders, strengthening partnerships, and planning responsibility are all of that. My commitment is to keep building a community where people and businesses alike feel safe, supported, and proud to call Airdrie home. If you want honesty, accountability, and someone who brings humor, realness, and isn't afraid to have the tough conversations, vote for me.
Thanks, Candice. Al?
Thank you, Jason. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this. I'm asking for 4 more years on council to continue on, common sense based on life experience. To be able to continue considering ongoing operational costs every time a capital project is brought forward. Long-term sustainability, partnerships with industry, developers, and higher levels of government. I'm asking for the privilege for another 4 years to represent the voters of Airdrie. I've had a long experience with my family throughout this community. I could go through the long list. I would suggest it's probably easier for you just to Google Al Jones Airdrie, and you can see all my involvements over the past 30 years. It's been a privilege thus far, and I'm asking Airdrie voters to allow me that privilege for another 4 years. Please re-elect Al Jones. Thank you.
Thanks, Al. Chris?
Thank you again to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this, and a special thank you to Mayor Brown for his past 15 years of service. 4 years ago, I ran for this very same seat under the platform Destination Airdrie. Since then, I've accomplished everything in my 2021 platform. Ed Edgar has a world-class turf that drives economic revenues for small businesses and is a safe gathering place for our youth. I have been a founding member of 2 new successful festivals that keep Airdronians connected and staying in Airdrie. Airdrie Culture Fest and Homecoming. Homecoming returns on this Saturday, October 4th, so I hope to see you there. Give me a mandate and I will deliver. After everything you've heard tonight, I hope that I can count on your vote, starting with early voting on October 6th. Please go to chrisglassforairdrie.com and vote on October 20th. And because I have 15 seconds left, Malia, it's time for bed. Thank you for staying up, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris. Craig?
I think Airdrie has a really bright future, substantial budget to work with. I think cutting only 1% in spending in any area, millions of dollars we could put towards other projects. So a full review of last year's spending would accomplish that. I'm sure we could find efficiencies in all areas. We need to prioritize spending in the years to come. Every dollar must be counted for, put to work, improving our community. With a few $1 million, perhaps something we could do is put in a municipal police force in place to keep our people and our businesses safe while the RCMP transitions out of protecting communities in Alberta. Something we need to plan for, and I think we have a budget and a path to do it. I think that's one thing that the people of Airdrie really want to push for. Thanks to everybody for tonight. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed meeting everybody virtually, and I've met some of you in person and can't wait to see more of you. Have a good night.
Thanks, Craig. Ron?
Ron crashed again, so we'll try to get him back.
Okay, we'll move on to Daryl.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. Ron seems to always crash before me. I'm not sure why. Anyways, we have to remember that council is really a team effort. And I am a proven nonsense voice for Airdrie, focused on practical solutions, responsible growth, and listening to residents. With experience on city council, I understand the importance of balancing progress with affordability. And over the past 20 years, well, 25 years now, I've been a resident of Airdrie, seeing it grow from, 20,000 up to 90 plus right now. And I just ask starting on November 6th through the 20th, you vote Bellick for a re-election bid. Thank you.
Thanks, Daryl. Ron? Ron, are you with us?
I'm back. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but thank you. For the last couple of hours, we have heard from multiple candidates who are very capable of holding the position of city council. They would all bring different qualities and perspectives to the table. What I offer is 15 years of proven experience on council, a steady and common sense approach to decision-making, and a deep commitment to this community I've called home for 47 years. My record shows that I listen, I problem solve, and I make decisions with the best interests of the whole community in mind. Over the years, I've helped guide Airdrie through significant growth while maintaining affordability, public safety, and the community spirit that makes the city so special. As Airdrie continues to grow, experience, consistency, and a focus on practical solutions matter more than ever. I will continue working to keep Airdrie safe, welcoming, and vibrant for families, seniors, and businesses alike. And with that, I humbly ask for your support on October 20th to continue my quest of making the city the best city in the country to live. Thank you.
Thanks, Ron. Christopher?
All right. Many thanks to all those involved in tonight here and with us at home. As someone who understands the meaning of service, I've dedicated my career to serving Canada, and now I'm committed to serving Airdrie. I'm grateful for events like this that give me the opportunity to connect with the community and better understand its needs. I'm ready to listen, to learn, and to lead our city in the right direction. By utilizing the expertise and support of organizations like the Airdrie Chamber, we can make great things happen. With experience, dedication, and a focus on families, small businesses, and communities, I'll work to ensure Airdrie remains current, vibrant, thriving, and supportive. A place where we can all successfully come home and be proud to call home. I was raised here and now I'm raising my own family on the streets I grew up in, and I'm committed for the long run. Vote Christopher Backey for Airdrie City Council this October. Thank you.
Thanks, Christopher. Tommy?
Thank you again to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this important discussion, and to everyone here tonight for caring about the future of our city. Like we all know, Airdrie is growing quickly, and that brings both challenges and opportunities. We need leaders who will spend wisely, keep taxes fair, and ensure critical projects don't get delayed for another decade. I'm running because I believe Airdrie deserves a council that listens, that puts residents and businesses first, and that takes action instead of excuses. Together, we can build a city that's affordable, connected, and thriving for families and businesses alike. On October 20, I ask for your support to bring this vision to life. Let's put Airdrie first. Thank you very much, and have a great night.
Thanks, Tommy. And thank you all that participated and are putting their names forward. And thanks to all that tuned in. And a big shout out to the Chamber of Commerce. They got a fantastic team who really care about making sure that they make these connections and facilitate them. And it's truly an honor to be part of this, and gives me a lot of inspiration about Alberta overall, to hear communities be strong. So thank you very much. And I'll invite Marilyn back to bring her closing comments.
Thank you so much, Jason, for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule. We absolutely are empowered by our business network and where our province is going and where our community is going. Also, please join me in thanking all our candidates for participating in this evening's event. It takes significant dedication, time, and obviously you guys are so into it and want our community to thrive. So thank you all so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules. While our chamber does not endorse any one candidate, it is our responsibility to help the public and our members better understand the issues at stake in our upcoming municipal election and where candidates stand on business-related issues. If you have any additional questions that were not asked tonight, please reach out to the candidates directly. The event was recorded this evening. Please visit our Municipal Forum webpage to locate the Zoom video within the next 48 hours. We hope that by attending tonight's event, you can make an informed vote on Monday, October 20th, 2025. Thank you all for attending this virtual forum and supporting your local Chamber of Commerce. Have a wonderful evening. Take care, everyone.